we're going to begin doing the blessing part of the main ceremony. Just before I do so, something I was going to touch on that I didn't mention yet. I often get asked how long the final videos are, and editors are always asking me how long do we need the final video to be, and the answer is it's irrelevant. Up till this point, end of the procession, we are just over 15 minutes long, and I really don't look at the clock. I'm looking to tell a story, and as long as I have content that adds to the story, we're going to keep going. And the minute the content starts to become boring, we're going to lose our audience, and we don't want to show that. Most of my videos end up being somewhere around an hour, but that's not a time that I go for that, oh, a video needs to be an hour. It could be 50 minutes, it could be 90 minutes. We're just trying to tell a good story. So I really don't look at the clock, just whatever it ends up being at the end, that's what it is. So we just finished a procession, and the last clip was this over here. We don't have audio to go with this, but that's fine, because we could leave it without audio, or we could add our own audio. I haven't quite decided yet what I'm doing over there. So we have these few clips of the bride and groom standing together, and then we have the next shot is going to be the rabbi picking up that glass and approaching them, and the next thing is going to be the start of the blessing. Let's kind of see what we have here. Okay, so the easiest edit right here is that all of these clips just need to go together, right? And you'll see it's going to make sense. We don't quite have audio yet, but he picks it up, he walks away. Let's get rid of that shake. So once he's out of the shot, right, you see he picks it up and steps out of the shot, and now he's here getting ready to make the blessing. He's bringing the mic in. Okay, so he's making the blessings. Now, the rest of this edit, we have a lot less room for creativity, simply because he's in the middle of making the blessing. If I don't actually have a shot to put in there, I just need to use the second camera because we don't want to skip anything. Alright, this is drinking. This just has to go after he finishes the blessing. So we're somewhat limited on where we can go with creativity. So this is going to be an exception to the earlier part of the ceremony where we may just have to use the second camera a little more often. But we're still going to try to make it as interesting as possible. So over here, he picks it up, he steps in place to make the blessing. Now the only thing I can do, instead of going back and forth so often, this B-roll clip can go right there. And then we can go back to that clip there. So we're just making the swapping back and forth a little bit less, and we're also going back to that creating the two camera illusion by giving these two different angles in the middle of one shot. This clip looks like a candidate for our warp stabilizer. Okay. Now, sometimes we're going to get rid of that audio over there. I only want to use the video. Sometimes what I'm about to do works, and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, that works. Sometimes it doesn't flow right, then you kind of need a little bit of space. So, you know, go like that and switch to the second camera briefly before going back to him. I think we're okay with it like this. Right, let's get to the point where you see it going towards the bride, and then the next shot could be her drinking. It's okay that it skips a second. That's something that a viewer's mind automatically fills in. It's something I learned a while ago in a class I was taking, that there are certain cuts which subconsciously your brain just fills in. And these few clips, I think, are an easy example of those. Okay, then we have this little, so this is one blessing right here. Now obviously I'm not going to just play this in real time and show the second camera this whole time. So the last clip here was her drinking. The next thing, we kind of have this little interaction with the ring. Gives it to him. A close-up of the groom. And then another close-up of the groom, but from a different angle. Now if we cut this in the right place, it's going to look natural. So right over here the bride looks up. If we cut that short and head over to right there, well, she kind of looks up again. So let's cut that one short as well. This over here is going to have to be much, much louder. Let's see if Adobe will automatically raise it. Okay, the groom is saying the verse, which, here we go, that works for me. So let's see what happens. Obviously these things are going to have to come up a little closer together. Let's see how this plays out. And we also have to add some sound. It could be ambient sound of people whispering in the background. You know, if we time this just right, he will finish we could close in this gap. And that's it. What's supposed to happen is he's supposed to say that verse and then put the ring on after. There are going to be certain exceptions to that rule. There are certain cases where there's a different style of wedding where he will put it on as he is saying the verse, and the edit needs to be done slightly differently then. In this case, he says the verse and then puts it on. Naturally, a groom will say the verse because he's reading off a paper. He'll pause for a brief moment and then put on the ring. So, you know, what actually happened was he finishes saying the verse, then there's a brief pause, and then he puts on the ring. But we can just close up that gap as long as he finishes the statement before putting on the ring. And there we go. He puts on the ring. Okay, now we don't really need the rest of that audio, so we're going to cut the audio short. Oops. Right there. The very next thing we want after that is, well, whoops, let's unlink these. So that goes like that, and unlink those. Right? We want them to look at each other, and we want mom and dad's reaction too, so okay, that's smiling to looking. You can see mom over there in the corner smiling, so let's let's wait for the part of the shot where she is smiling here too, so we see her smiling, we see her smiling there too. That works. And we can actually do this sort of little thing where they look, we see her smiling. Now, right, let's play it and make sure. Yep. I don't like that it's the same focal length the whole way through, so I'm gonna zoom in this one so that it becomes more of a shot of just the parents, but you still see the gown a little bit over there. And there we have it. Now we still have to move all these things around and make them closer together, so we're gonna start doing that now. Everything has to appear very natural. What I think I'm gonna do here, I don't do this at every wedding, but I think this edit will benefit from a little bit of very slight ambient audio in the background. So I'm gonna get some sort of very subtle piano track just to sort of throw something in. I don't want anything with vocals. Let's see what we could find. Okay, so I had paused the recording while I looked for some music. I have an entire music library of royalty-free music. It's a lot of it is stuff I was able to get for free. Some of it is stuff you have to pay for. There's a lot of good sources for royalty-free music. Besides so here's the track that I'm going to be using. We'll get to it in a second. Besides for the legal advantages, which let's just assume for right now that if you put a song in a wedding video, nobody's coming after and suing you. That's just the nature of it. But there's really something nice and special about using a musical track that nobody has ever heard before. It allows the viewer to not know what's coming next. There's that extra element of surprise that you can use the music to add to. So for a highlight video, for a trailer, for a teaser, if I know there's a certain song that was very special to the bride and groom, a great example of that is if the groom gets up during the wedding and actually plays or sings a song. Obviously, I'm going to use that song as the background for their wedding trailer. If I know that there's a song that means a lot to them, I'm going to use that song. But for everything else, there's a beautiful element of surprise that comes from using tracks that most people have never heard of. So, we're actually going to put this on our music track, so audio level number 2. And anything that we want to hear from the audio is going to be on audio number 3, and anything from the camera that we want muted is going to be on audio level number 1. So, let's see what we have here. Okay, so right where that music stops, I can put in this track, and let's fade between them. Right. I really think it's going to add a lot. I'm I'm just deciding if I want to go really out of the box for this, because the rabbi did say a speech.
We read from the Torah about the brachas, the many brachas which Jacob gave, all the blessings he gave to each and every one of his children. It's a time of bracha. It's a time of blessing, and we all feel it here, standing with you, watching your joy. When Yaakov blessed,
I'm deciding if I want to take this to the next level and make it
the verse
really
summarizes and says
something out of the box. Normally, 99% of the time at this point in the wedding ceremony, I'm just going to go linear. But I have two things. I could kill two birds with one stone here, and that is, I'm not a huge fan of... I don't think people want to sit and just watch extended length speeches. And I've always liked the idea of using the speech as a background to another part of the video. It does have to make sense. I'm sorry to be thinking out loud while the screen is recording. I really want to do this. Again, normally I would be... Why do I have a clip up here? Oh, okay, I stuck that in, so we're going to put that down there. Normally I'd keep this point very, very linear. But I really think there's going to be a benefit. Okay, we're gonna see how this works. I'm very tempted here to take this a little out of the box. So, without further ado, let's. So we know we need the audio of the blessings. Oops, let's get rid of audio that's not the blessing. We don't want to have extra audio on this third track because we're going to use Premiere's auto ducking to bring down the music track. We're going to do this ducking. We'll do that later when we do sound editing, but yeah, we don't want to have extra audio or it's going to mess with this system. So we have this segment right here. This audio track really did not pick up anything up until that point right there, so we're not going to be using that audio track for anything. Alright, we will be using this audio track, we will be using the camera audio. So, let's bring this all together over here. Let's make sure we have a nice flow. Now, because we have this piano track in the background, we do have to... Let's do loudness, auto match. We're going to get rid of that auto match. Reset. We do have to make sure the cuts now work with the music, so let's just adjust these cut points to work. These two things I think are going to benefit from a warp stabilizer. Now here are the audio changes, so that'll make a good point to begin the blessing. We have to be very careful now that all the clips associated with this blessing sort of get kept together. I want the audio to start right there. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al ha'arayos.
Make sure that is that actually lined up.
Shanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al ha'arayos. Yosar lanu es ha'arusais, v'yitir lanu es hanasuais lanu, al yidei chupa v'kiddushin. Baruch atah Adonai, v'kadesh amo Yisrael, al yidei chupa v'kiddushin.
Okay, now we have to be careful here. We don't want this music to overpower the wedding itself. This is something we are adding in after the fact. And it's not something that works in every wedding. So we have to be very careful about this. During the actual ceremony, there is no audio at this point other than what's coming from the ceremony. So we need to keep it subtle. I'm gonna show you now what actually happens with this audio ducking. So dialogue, auto match. This clip here is now recognized as a dialogue clip. This clip is going to be recognized as an audio clip, and we're going to make it duck to -10, I think will work. But let's see. Let's generate keyframes. See why we have additional keyframes here. What's going on here? Okay. We'll just do without the stabilizer for that.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafim. Baruch atah Adonai.
We want this to be even lower, so we're gonna do a -15, and let's generate the keyframes again. And we just want to make sure that the vocals really stands out. Let's enhance this for the male voice.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al ha'arayos, v'yosar lanu es ha'arusais, v'yitir lanu es hanasuais lanu, al yidei chupa v'kiddushin. Baruch atah Adonai, v'kadesh amo Yisrael.
And notice how his mouth is perfectly lined up with what he's saying. That's the only thing that there's no exceptions to. Alright, so now we're gonna move on to this. So the last clip here is a close-up of her drinking. We want to have some sort of break, just to break that up, because she's drinking here. You know, there's someone leaning in, giving her the cup. Let me just see. Yeah, you see her mom is leaning in, giving her the cup. So we want to have some sort of break. Let's take this next section here. This was the ring segment. That piece of audio we don't need. This piece of audio we've already labeled as dialogue. So now we're going to take all this and we're just going to bring it to there. And this is actually going to be interesting because I did not do that on purpose, but it's going to line up very nicely now with this sort of change in the music that's right over here. Let's just make sure everything else works. Okay. We're going to adjust it a little bit more because let's do the generate keyframes again. And let's see if we could make this one 1 decibel louder. Okay. I don't like that it's doing it so early. Let's see, what does it do here? Yeah, it's kind of a smoother transition over there. Let's adjust this transition. Why can't I zoom in? Sometimes it helps to add in a little more audio here. I don't need that much. Let's see if we bring this to here, add some audio transition, and then generate the keyframes again. Let's see if it adjusts it at all. Why can't I zoom into my track here? I don't know why. But anyway, see, it's lowering it. The automatic thing, you can't always rely on these automatic things. It shouldn't actually be lowering it until here. And then it should start going back up over there. So let's see how that sounds. The next event that takes place is the reading of the marriage contract. Followed by the series of blessings. So just for the sake of volume, I want to just separate those audio clips. Let's find the end of the reading. Right, so right over there is going to be the end of this. And we're going to label this as dialogue and loudness, auto match. That should bring up the volume a little bit. I'm not going to enhance it. Okay, so what ends up happening here is that whenever because I'm using a shotgun mic, whenever the mic is pointing away, we sort of we lose the audio a little bit. Or in this case where it's far away. So let's see if we can get a more stable recording out of, I don't know for sure, but let's see if we could get a better recording from this over here. Let's label that as dialogue. That camera was a little more steady, but it was also extremely far away. So we're gonna if we do reverb and we make it, that's my autosave, we make it small dry room. I want to get rid of that. Let's just see. That actually kind of worked. Let's go back and forth between our two options. This track is so much better. So, okay, we're gonna not clear audio type. We're gonna get rid of that. Let's put this back on our track that we're not really using, and we're gonna figure out our audio issues. We'll have to manually raise and lower the volume, or maybe skip out certain points. We'll see. This is the reading of the contract. We don't necessarily need the entire thing being read. Okay, we're gonna, let's see what we can do. The ring goes on, and then we're going to have the reading of the marriage contract. Now normally there's going to be an MC calling people up. He was very difficult to hear, and I didn't really get any clear recordings of him talking. Yeah, let's see. Yes, over here you could hear him faintly in the background. Very hard to hear him. So we're gonna use this musical piece to our advantage.
Ravi b'Shabbos Tisha Yomim l'Chodesh Teves Shnas Chameshes Halofim Mishva Me'ez V'Shivim V'Shmoinu L'Brias Olam L'Minin Shon Monakan Mosa Baltimore.
See, so over there the sound gets lower because the
Moras Chaya Shene Bas Aaron Michael Reuven Havelin
I lost my train of thought because the camera is moving. I want to try one more time to get this audio out of this audio recording. It'll be a little more constant if we could pick it up there. Let's just see if we could. see what happens if we bring this audio volume all the way up. Effects. And we're gonna keep raising this up until we start hearing something. Copy, paste, paste, paste.
Moras Chaya Shene Basreb Aaron Michael Reuven Havelin took das Moshe Yisrael.
It's gonna be a tough call. See there, the camera's moving again. Let's see. I'm a little torn over here. First of all, let's line up the audio tracks. So. Just doing a manual sync over here.
Aaron Michael Reuven Havelin took das Moshe Yisrael. And Efach Boiker Ezel Nafanis Shnat Chameshes Halach Mishva Me'ez V'Shivim V'Shmoinu.
I think this has to be moved over just a drop more.
Nope,
probably has to be moved the other way. Just gotta make sure the audio is all lined up over there. Okay, that's close enough. I don't know, this is a tough decision. This is so clean. What if we mix the two? See what happens then. No, not clean.
Reuven, have a little into das Moshe Yisrael. And Eflach v'oita ve'iden v'achanes v'sichim.
Care of each other, build a vayis neman b'Yisrael, and continue to give joy to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to God.
Okay. I think we're gonna have to. So one of these things that I realize, sorry it takes so long to go through that, but I happen to know that there was potentially a better recording, but we are just gonna have to work without it here. So we're looking for the shot where they give over the wrong thing. Let's move the audio. We're looking for a shot where they give over the contract. And we're gonna get, so I think we're gonna use the band recorded audio. I don't want to delete this one just yet, so I'm just gonna bring it down to here and disable it. But I think it's gonna give us the better thing. Let's get all this and bring it into here. We'll actually put that there, and I kind of want the audio to start here, so we're gonna go like that, and then we'll ripple delete so everything comes in. Let me make sure that works smoothly. Yes, everything moved together. Okay, let's get back to editing over here. So. Watching for sort of inspiration over here. As I said before, this is something I rarely do, but I kind of want to use the speech.
This is the week when we read from the Torah about the bracha.
As the
many
what's here? I kind of want to use the speech as my I don't remember what I was going to say. Sort of narration for this point.
Time of blessing. We all feel it here, standing with you, watching your joy. That each one of them, he gave each of them their blessing. The verse summarizes and says, Ish asher kavir chaso beirach osam. Each person, according to his blessing, he blessed them. And Rashi is troubled by the turn of the phrase. It should say blessing.
Something shifted over. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. Let's see. Where does the speech start? The speech begins. Speech starts right here.
But this is the week when we read from the Torah. Mazel tov, Naftali and Shana. Mazel tov to all of your loving family who's gathered here. This is the week of brachas. Not just your brachas, not just Sheva brachas, but this is the week when we read from the Torah about the brachas, the many brachas which Jacob gave, all the blessings he gave to each and every one of his children. It's a time of bracha. It's a time of blessing.
Okay, so
And we all
this
feel
segment
that
here
we're
is our
standing with
speech.
you, watching your joy. When Yaakov blessed his sons, after he said to each one of them, he gave each of them their blessing, the verse summarizes and says, Ish asher kavir chaso beirach osam. Each person,
It's a very
according
short
to his
speech.
blessing, he blessed them. And Rashi is troubled by the turn of the phrase. It should say, his blessing, he blessed him. But he explains that when Yaakov gave the brachas, he spoke
Sorry, I know
to each
you're
one,
watching me edit in real
but he
time.
gathered them together.
I got to make a lot of decisions
Come
in real
together.
time.
And when you bring everybody together, and each one comes with their own blessing, each one's blessing is everyone's blessing.
The actual length of the speech is, let's check this out, 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So we have a audio amount we could kind of work with and use as a narration. And this is this is a tutorial. You're watching me edit, and I don't like the idea that I'm doing something so drastically different from what's normally expected. I really do think it's going to work here, and we're going to go for it because I want to show you how I think and how each and every wedding is really a brand new thing. I don't like that a lot of studios have a way that they do things. Like, this is how our highlight looks, and this is how our feature film looks. It shouldn't be like that. It should be, make each one as good as it could possibly be with what you have available. So, a brief understanding of this contract. They're reading this contract over here. The first few lines of it are this contract are that isn't right. The first few lines of this contract are what was I going to say? Just the like time and the place and stuff like that, and then it gets into the the meat and potatoes of what his obligations are to her throughout the remainder of their marriage. And we are going to start by just using the beginning of that. I do want the ducking to come into effect over here in this music track. And then we're going to use this sort of B-roll clip over here. And we're going to try to sort of turn this into a little music video of sorts. So obviously clips where you see him talking need to be matched up with what he's actually saying. Clips where you don't actually see him talking can become anything. So the easy B-roll clips that I have here are the crowd and this wide shot. So here, we're going to put this wide shot here. Okay, up till that point right there is the introduction. The Havalila into Kedas Moshe B'Yisrael, those words, the Havalila into Kedas Moshe B'Yisrael, that is the end of the intro. The last line there means these two people, on this day at this time, the bride and the groom have agreed to get married. That last line means, and they have agreed to get married according to Jewish law. So we are gonna cut that here. It's gonna start getting a little confusing because we sort of have to keep track of what things are gonna be in what track. And this is already the extra kind of stuff. Right, so right over here is a good spot to sort of fade into that speech. Let's see if we could make something nice. Now what I want to do is, in order just to keep myself sane over here. What's this over here? Okay. So in order to keep myself sane and keep everything organized, we're going to label everything that is reading the contract one color. So let's pick a color we haven't used yet. We will go with brown. So this is the reading the contract right here. Okay, and now we're going to go find our speech, which is this segment here, and we're going to label it something else. So this is going to be tan, and everything else we can leave in blue. And let's see what we can do with this.
All of your loving family who's gathered here. This is the week of brachas.
So let's make this dialogue auto match.
Not just your brachas, not just Sheva brachas, but this is the week when we read from the Torah about the brachas, the many brachas.
I think this could do with being a little louder.
Yaakov, which Jacob gave, all the blessings he gave to each and every one of his children. It's a time of bracha. It's a time of blessing, and we all feel it here.
Let's see why this isn't letting me drag it longer. I don't know why, but okay. We'll just manually make them all the same volume. And this one, 6, and there we go.
But he explains, he blessed them. And Rashi is troubled by the turn of the phrase. It should say, his blessing, he blessed him. But he explains that when Yaakov gave the brachas, he spoke to each one, but he gathered them together. He kavtzu v'shinu, come together. And when you bring everybody together, and each one comes with their own blessing, each one's blessing is everyone's.
And I want to nest these just so that they don't. Oops. I want to nest these audio clips here just so that they don't, we're going to say, get lost in the shuffle. Oops. I don't want to do that. I wanted to label them as tan.
And each of you, Naftali and Shane.
Okay. And now this whole thing, we're going to bring it up a few levels so we can keep track of it. And bring the audio down a few levels. One more. That's it. Now we kind of have these two separate things over here, and I want to group it all together. For right now, I'm going to group it all together so that I can grab this and have it all come together.
Them. And Rashi is troubled.
Okay. Now we're going to come back to here. And I want to fade into the speech. Alright. So let's just kind of see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen yet. We're going to see how this works for us.
Mazel tov, Naftali and Shana. Mazel tov to all your loving family who's gathered here. This is the week of brachas. Not just your brachas, not just Sheva brachas. This is the week when we read from the Torah about the brachas, the many brachas which Yaakov, which Jacob gave, all the blessings he gave each and every one of his children. It's the time of bracha, the time of blessing. We all feel it here, standing with you, watching your joy. And Yaakov blessed his sons after he said to each one of them, he gave each of them received from your families in which you've cultivated yourselves, and now blessings with your own brachas, beautiful blessings, which you've received from your families in which you've Mazel tov, Naftali and Shana. Mazel tov to...
Okay, so this over here we have to slowly fade out. This is a little bit different than some of the other videos I've been doing. And the main ceremony really takes a lot of care to come out right, and of course at every wedding it's going to be very different. So
Mazel tov, Naftali and Shana. Work. Mazel tov, Naftali and Shana. Mazel tov to all your loving family who's gathered here. This is the week of brachas. Not just your brachas, not just Sheva brachas, but this is the week when we read from the Torah about the bracha. Your joy. And Yaakov blessed.
what else can we do here?
All your loving family who's gathered here. This is the week of brachas. Not
What we can do is you can use a clip where you're really supposed to.
he blessed, but he gathered them together.
You could put this clip here, and it's certainly a little bit off. The voice is going to be a bit off, but I don't think you're going to really notice it.
Mazel tov, Naftali and Shana.
It's fading away.
All your loving family who's gathered here. This is the week of brachas.
So now if we bring, whoops, let's ungroup this whole thing. If we sort of bring this down to here now.
This is the week of brachas. Not just your brachas, not just Sheva brachas. But this is the week when we read from the Torah about the brachas, the many brachas which Yaakov,
Let's kind of see what happens.
Jacob gave, all the blessings he gave to each and every one of his children. It's a time of bracha, it's a time of blessing. And we all feel it here, standing with you, watching your joy. We all feel it here, standing with you, watching your joy. And Yaakov,
We're going to take the whole reading the document and shift it over a little that way.
it's a time of bracha, it's a time of blessing. And we all feel it here, standing with you, watching your joy. We all feel it here, standing with you, watching.
So after the words, we'll feel it here.
Time of blessing. And we all feel it here.
I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut the audio right here. And
We all feel it here, standing with you, watching your joy. And Yaakov blessed his sons after he said to each one of them, he gave each of them their blessing. The verse summarizes and says, Ish asher kazir chaso beirach osam.
okay, and now grab the entire speech. And again, we're going to group the speech also so that it can all be moved together. Oh, well, I had ungrouped it before.
Each of them, their blessing. The verse summarizes and says, Ish asher kavirchas.
Okay. So here,
This is the week when we read from the Torah about the brachas, the many brachas which Yaakov, which Jacob gave, all the blessings he gave to each and every one of his children. It's a time of bracha. It's a time of blessing, and we all feel it here.
okay, this little clip up here can go away, and this one, again, this is a very delicate and far from usual thing. So I have these really nice transitions that I think are going to help build the story here.
Gathered here. This is the week of brachas.
See if we make that nice little zoom up there.
Loving family who's gathered here. Who's gathered here. This is the week of brachas.
Yeah, just be careful that the
This is the week of brachas.
No, so we can't have the zoom go past there.
Here. This is the week of brachas. Not just your brachas, not just Sheva brachas. But this is the week when we read from the Torah about the brachas, the many brachas which Yaakov, which Jacob gave, all the blessings he gave to each and every one of his children. It's a time of bracha, it's a time of blessing, and we all feel it here.
I want to stick in more B-roll here, so that's going to be my next cut point of the reading the contract. And let's see. Okay, that little segment we're going to cut out. We don't need every second of reading the contract in a well-made video. So now let's bring back in the speech. So
Said to each one of them, he gave each of them their blessing. The verse summarizes.
and here we go with this. And I do want to put some additional B-roll because
Standing with you, watching your joy.
let's put how about that? Let's see what that's
Standing with you, watching your joy.
This could be cut short, just a drop.
When Yaakov blessed his son,
Just because of the content, it was really part of the last sentence.
when Yaakov blessed his son, when Yaakov blessed,
That's not right over there. That we don't want that shake at the end.
when Yaakov blessed his sons, after he said to each one of them, he gave. After he said to each one of them, he gave each of them.
Okay. Now again, we're gonna let's take just this little piece right here and bring it down and delete that top one. And we're gonna put that zooming
sons
transition
after
in
he
again.
said to each one. After he said to each one of them, he gave each of them their blessing. The verse summarizes and says, Ish Asher. And Yaakov blessed his sons after he said to each one of them, he gave each of them their blessing.
We're trying to make a
The verse
beautiful video.
summarizes and says,
a very
Ish
beautiful
Asher
event.
Kavir Chaso Beirach Husam. Each person, according to his blessing, he blessed them. And Rashi is troubled by the turn of the phrase. It should say, blessing, he blessed him. But he explained,
Why is there a cut over there?
phrase, it should say, blessing, he blessed him. And Rashi is troubled by the turn of the phrase. It should say, blessing, he blessed him. But he explains that when Yaakov gave the brachas,
I don't know why I can't. Oops, can't expand that. Oh, because the camera had started a new.
blessing, he blessed. Say, blessing, he blessed.
Okay, we'll have to figure out what to do about that. The camera started a new file over there.
Blessed him. But he explains that when Yaakov so Beirach Husam, each person, according to his blessing, he blessed them.
This might be a good place to cut the speech and bring back the contract.
And Rashi is troubled by the turn of the phrase. It should say, blessing, he blessed him. But he explains that when Yaakov gave the brachas, he spoke to each one, but he gathered them together. He kavtzu.
Let's grab all these by themselves and bring it out here, and we will of course bring it back very soon.
Them.
This little piece really goes over there. Okay.
According to his blessing, he blessed them.
Okay, and this over here is the end of reading the contract. So we're gonna jump to the end of reading the contract. I know what the words mean, so I'm picking convenient places to start based on the words. It's a little tricky if you're not familiar with that. So I want to start it right there. And from this point, I kind of want to play the reading the contract through to the end. So let's put that there. We're going to use that transition that I've been favoriting now. And let's put our audio fade.
Them.
Put him giving her the contract. Right, and he gives it to her, and that's perfect over there. And over here we could keep that second view over there. So right now I'm kind of happy with how this is looking. Now we have a whole bunch more of the speech, and we also have these 7 blessings, which are part of the ceremony and certainly have to be in there. Let's kind of see what we could do with it. Right, so he gives her the contract. When he gives her the contract, we could already bring back in the speech. So since we're going to have this little jump in the clips over here, let's bring the main camera of the speech down to here. And okay, now pretty much all the clips, now I'm confusing myself. Okay. The speech over here, oops, undo what we just did. Bring this into here, and as he's giving her the contract, we're going to already start hearing the speech again.
And Rashi is troubled by the turn. And Rashi is troubled by the turn of the phrase. It should say, "His blessing he blessed."
I did notice that our
But he
music
explains
stopped.
that when Yaakov gave the brachas, he spoke to each one, but he gathered them together. He cuffed together. And when you bring everybody together, and each one comes with their own
Getting
blessing,
rid of the double audio track.
each one's blessing is everyone's blessing. And each of you, Naftali and Shana, come to this chuppah, walk into the home that you're building together, each with your own blessings, with your own brachas, beautiful blessings, which you've received from your families and which you've cultivated yourselves.
So he's actually talking about
And now,
blessings,
hikafzu,
which are being given here. So it works very well. We just need to divide it up and make it into something special. So this last blessing here, let's find where he starts. Yeah, so this last blessing here definitely needs to be its own thing. It's a long one. These over here we're going to intertwine with the speeches. So let's find the first one.
it should say, "His blessing he blessed him." But he explains that when Yaakov gave the brachas, he spoke to each one, but he gathered them together. He kafzu v'shinu. Come to.
Let's see.
He spoke to each one, but he gathered them together. He kafzu v'shinu. Come together. And when you bring everybody together, and each one comes with their own blessing, each one's blessing is everyone's blessing. And each of you, Naftali and Shana, come to this chuppah, walk into the home that you're building together, each with your own blessings, with your own brachas, beautiful blessings, which you've received from your families and which you've cultivated.
So he begins talking about blessings. So we're going to take it from here. And we're going to start putting in blessings. Now I do need to get some audio back here. So let's just figure out this song. Okay, so towards the end of the song, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna double up the song.
Rashi is troubled by the turn of the phrase. It should say,
Where'd it go? Where's our song? Whoopsie. Okay, there's our song. Okay, so right over there is a nice cut point. And we're now going to find the original of this song. We'll find the clip. What's it called? Come on, where is it? It's called Epic Piano. I don't know why I can't search for it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so right over there is a point where I can match it up with the audio that's already there. So we're gonna go there, put a fade, and it should be almost seamless. Let's solo that track so we don't hear anything else. It's a little bit off. Let's do that again. And this, I believe, was... Right, that's music, and we did not auto-match it. But let's copy, and let's just paste the attributes. So, volume, as well as all this, is being pasted. Now it should match. Does this have ducking? It does. So again, let's just duck this one. That sounds good to me.
And Rashi is troubled by the turn of the phrase. It should say, "His blessing, he blessed him." But he explains that when Yaakov gave the brachas, he spoke to each one, but he gathered them together. He kaftsu v'shim, come together. And when you bring everybody together, and each one comes with their own blessing, each one's blessing is everyone's blessing. And each of you, Naftali and Shana, come to this chuppah. Walk into the home that you're building together, each with your own blessings, with your own brachas, with your own blessings, with your own brachas.
Okay.
Each.
All right, so that's perfect. He's going to say each with your own
building
blessings, each with your own brachas. And the next shot is going to be Grandpa walking up. So.
Walk into the home. Home that you're building together, each with your own blessings, with your own brachas.
Okay, so next we need Grandpa giving a blessing. So pull this whole... Whoop. That didn't work as planned. So we'll take the blessing and the crowd saying amen afterwards. And put that here with audio fades. And let's see how it sounds. Dialogue. And generate keyframes. I want to make sure that this works smoothly.
Blessings with your own brachas.
Yeah, we'll get the next grandfather walking up over there. really nice. And follow that up with his blessing. So let's take the footage of his blessing. Normally you would, like I said before, you would kind of see the MC, or at least hear him, but we're not really getting that luxury here, so this is gonna go till about there, and this is gonna be dialogue and auto match. And this one I also kind of want to auto match. There's gonna be a lot of review at the end of this. There was some movement there that I don't care for, so let's shift this over. And we'll have Premiere generate the keyframes afterwards. Let's see what we have next.
Melt together. To see that those
All right, that's a nice B-roll right there. And there we have another nice B-roll. Okay, so I think now I'm gonna put another speech segment. Let's see what it works.
Cultivated yourselves. Beautiful brachas, beautiful blessings.
So let's bring our speech back in. Just the beginning of the audio over there. And we're going to need some sort of B-roll.
Received from your families and which you've
So, we haven't used the second camera in a little bit. And in it goes.
Beautiful brachas, beautiful blessings, which you've received. Beautiful brachas, beautiful blessings, which you've received from your families and which you've cultivated yourselves. And now, Yikafzu, coming together. Now, you share these blessings. You're together. Now, you share these blessings. You have enough.
See?
Now, Yikafzu, coming together.
That's...
Now,
almost couldn't pick a better spot for that musical transition right there. So again, cut our speech again, and drag it, and why is our music coming with us? I did not mean to select the musical track, and now we have that coming with us. Gotta make sure we're only selecting what we want to move. So. Nope, selected too much there. Oh, that and that. Perfect.
coming together.
Perfect spot for another blessing, and this one I remember when I was going through the footage that I had missed the beginning on camera. So that gives us that little B-roll over there that we needed. And that's it. That's going to go here. And it's not just about, oh, let's see how cool we can make this. It's, I keep saying again and again how this is all about, let's take the content that everyone already sat through and everyone already saw, and let's make it something special. So yes, a lot of weddings will just work well with the simple edit. I kind of wanted to show you here what a not simple edit would be, because there were so many places that I could have taken shortcuts, but I really think this will enhance the final video. A combination of the fact that we didn't have the best audio recording, and a combination of the fact that, you know, all these different little things together is putting us in a position over here where we can just not only troubleshoot the problems that we had, but actually come out with a better finished product because of it. So
beautiful brachas, beautiful blessings, which you've received from your families and which you've cultivated yourselves, and now you're coming together.
dialogue, auto match. Right, and we'll put an audio fades there, and now we're going to put another blessing in. Let's just see what this next one is.
Together. And
Okay, so this one here. And because we're adding in this music in the background, that's actually giving us the freedom to not have to worry about putting things between clips. It's helping us out in a way. Right, because we could just put a little fade over there. That works, that's valid. Right, and add our audio fades, and now I have one blessing here. Is that a separate blessing? Nope, that's a little bit of B-roll, and we like B-roll. So B-roll goes right there. And next we're gonna put that, we have this blessing and this blessing. Okay, so let's put one more, and then we'll put the remaining part of the speech. Put the remainder of the speech sort of uncut.
you're together, and together you bring so much. Elokim Moshiv Yechidim Baisa. God bring at home with each other. You should continue. You should build Bezos Hashem a beautiful home together. Take wonderful care of each other. See that those individuals come together with such comfort, with such a sense of really, really being at home with each other.
Right. I am going to break up the speech one more time. And we'll put a piece right here.
Now, you sort of melt together, to see that special quiet.
We're gonna break it up 2 more times, because, hey, we can. We'll put in this blessing right here. This one's gonna go here.
שמח תשמח באמו אהובים, כי שמחך יצירך בגן עדן מקדם, ברוך אתה אדוני משמח.
Followed by this.
חסון וחלום.
It's been a bracha for all of us to watch you sort of melt together, to see that those individuals come together with such comfort, with such a sense of really individual, to watch you sort of melt together, to see that.
And once again, we do need to extend our audio track one more time. So we're going to do the same thing we did before, the same location, and sticking a fade in the middle, and it should work.
Those individuals come together with such comfort, with such a sense of.
Right, all these need to be dialogue. Let's try that again. This all needs to be dialogue. 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 Dialogue and dialogue, 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 and this one also, dialogue. Okay.
Such comfort, with such a sense of really being.
Right, because now we're going to generate the keyframes again.
At home with each other.
And let's put in this last blessing.
Kol chason v'kol kalom, kol mitzalois chasonim.
We're actually going to put the ending of the speech all together, and not break it up too many more times. And then we'll put this last blessing. So let's see what happens now if we generate keyframes.
Quiet.
שמח תשמח באמו אהובים, כי שמחך יצירך בגן עדן מקדם, ברוך אתה אדוני משמח חסון וחלום.
It's been a bracha for all of us to watch you sort of melt together, to see that those individuals come together with such comfort, with such a sense of really being at home with each other. It should continue. You should build Bezos Hashem a beautiful home together, take wonderful care of each other. Build a bayis ne'eman b'Yisrael, and continue to give joy to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to God, to your love for each other. Build a bayis ne'eman b'Yisrael, and continue to give joy, melt together, to see that those individuals come together with such comfort, with such a sense of really being at home with each other. It should continue. You should build. To see that those individuals come together with such comfort, with such a sense of really being at home with each other. It should continue. You should build Bezos Hashem a beautiful home together. Take wonderful care of each other. Build a Bayis Ne'eman B'Yisrael. And continue to give joy to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to God,
The clips that are here.
to your loving families, and to everyone who watches.
Baruch atah
To give joy to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to God,
Put this here.
to your loving families, and to everyone who watches.
Okay, now the blessing actually needs to start pretty much right after he finishes talking. So we'll put all this. I know this was supposed to be my more simplified. This was supposed to be a tutorial of my usual edit. It's turning into a tutorial of how I'm deciding to do this wedding.
Continue to give joy to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to God, to your loving families, and to everyone who watches.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher baras hasayin v'simcha chasan v'chala gila rina ditza v'chedva hava v'yachva v'shalom v'reyus meira Adonai Eloheinu yishama v'yarei Yehuda u'v'chutzos Yerushalayim kol sasayin v'kol simcha kol chasan v'kol kala kol mitzalois chasanim mechupasam unyarim mimishtei neginasam Baruch atah Adonai misameach chasan im hakala.
Right, and that actually worked out perfectly because the music kind of ended over there. So, next in this sequence is going to be okay, we stuck that in already. It's going to be a song. And we kind of want that song to begin almost immediately. We're just going to get to the actual words of it. So, right about there. And let's move this all back together. That was cool how perfectly that worked.
Im hakala.
Save our work. And now from this point, there's going to be a little bit more of a standard edit. Now, one thing I pointed out much earlier is how we didn't edit in that original synced sequence. The full wedding sync. Where was it? Not that. No, not there. Somewhere we have the original footage completely synced up. It's somewhere in the project. We didn't touch that. We copied the entire thing. And one of the main reasons I did that was if I show this to the bride and groom and they decide... Now, I love what I did over here. It's going to be really nice. But this specific couple may decide that they want something a little more standard. And if they do, I still have that original sync sequence, and it won't take me that long to make another version of it for them. So it would just be a waste not to have it. Also, for almost the entire thing, I have the camera audio. It's here. Even in places where I've disabled it, but it is fully in the sequence, and I can, some people don't like the idea of having the band recording. It sounds too fake. They want to hear a little bit of the crowd and a little bit of the ambient noise. And all I have to do is turn back on those audio tracks from the camera and mix them in a little bit. So, let's get back to here. And we're going to finish up this main ceremony.
Your loving families and to everyone who watches.
Okay, this full blessing, we're just going to keep it, whatever is part of the second camera is going in there. And I'm just listening to the song. I'm deciding if I want to shorten it at all. Some beautiful B-roll over there. I'm looking if he does any, two of a high or two of a low. We'll see. Okay, so we're definitely gonna, oops, not the video, I meant to. Alright, we're gonna cut out definitely one high part. And let's see if we could do it cleanly. That was pretty good. Let's cut out one more frame of that. I think a fade will fix that little blurt. Yep. There's a split second there where you kind of hear two voices, but it's almost not noticeable. No one's gonna notice it. And the other place I want to cut is one low part. So let's see. Okay, now this is going to be a little bit trickier. To get it to work smoothly is going to be trickier. So, because this high part has a very long prelude. So I know if we're going to get it to work smoothly. We're going to find out. That actually worked. That works. Okay, now we just have to make sure that breaking the glass happens as the song is being finished. I don't know what happened to my audio from breaking the glass. Oh, there it is. It's underneath here. We're going to enable that, and I think you'll hear him. Yep. Okay, so we're going to want that sound. This sound we probably will not need at all. Let's see what we could do here. Now, all this footage just has to go in this part of the song. Yeah, now we actually have the luxury to shorten this even more. I might have shortened it a little too much. We'll use that second camera for a little. That view is a little bit too similar, but we may not have a choice. It's also going to need some power warp stabilizer. Now, oops, with the audio, bring that in right here. That is perfect. Okay. Let's trim this. Okay. Next. So I want the Okay, so we do want that clapping over there. Just like that. Okay, and then what's going on this audio track here? Okay, we're gonna use the I changed my mind. We're gonna use the audio track from the second camera. So I'm actually gonna make a copy of that audio track, bring it down to here, and I'm gonna stick it in right over that one. I want it to begin. Now that's two different cameras. It's gonna need an audio fade between them. Let's make sure it sounds right. Oops. I'm sorry, I unmuted that track by accident. Okay, now we just pretty much, I don't think I'm going to use, at this point I'm not going to use the second camera for anything. People are going to be in the way. we're just looking now for, and we're not going to use this audio because it didn't really pick up anything for some reason. So now we just have all these clips, and we pretty much, this is one of the easiest parts to editing, pretty much just need to put them all together and then just check that they work. So let's go into there. We're just getting rid of all the space between them. I know after such a long edit, it doesn't feel right that something should just work this quickly. Sorry, that was our few detail shots. That one there, and let's just kind of go it over and see how it looks. So this first shot, the emotions during this first few seconds are very important, so we're going to let it go, even though it's a little bit longer than my usual liking. Now notice here how the audio track is continuous. And we're just going to watch it, and we'll be viewers also, and we're just going to make sure it kind of makes sense. So someone's hugging the groom here, and here someone's hugging the bride, that works. And here we have the crowd, that works too. And then we have someone hugging the bride, it's the brothers, and the other brother. Lighting and color we're going to fix later. And someone hugging the groom. That clip is a little bit too long. I don't need all that. So we're going to shorten it. When you have to shorten a clip here, you just decide which people you think are the more important ones. And now he turns towards the bride, and they turn to start walking down. So that's going to work well with this shot, which where we're going to see them walk out into the thing. We just got to make sure when we're doing this part that, because we hear the people singing in the background, we just have to make sure it doesn't look off. We're kind of bouncing to the music, so I'm going to say that it works. Okay, so these two clips don't work one after another because they're too similar. You know what, but one you see her, and then you kind of see a different angle. Easy fix right here. Put, there we go. Fixed. Just stuck something else in between so that it works. This audio is going to need to not be there. And we'll make some cuts on the music. We're going to try to stabilize some of this later. We may be able to, we may not be able to. It is kind of chaotic. Put an audio fade and a video fade to end this off. And they go into the room. And then they close the door. And there we go. Ceremony is done. So obviously save our work. Next up will be either dancing or dinner. And there's going to be a few factors to determine that. But for right now, we have a total video length of about 25 minutes. Just over 25 minutes. And it's all starting to come together. So next up, I will probably edit the dancing and then I'll make a segment for the dinner, and I'll decide then if I actually want to use it right at this point or not. So we're done the first half of the wedding. Afterwards is going to be the dinner, reception, dancing. I'll see you in the next video.